Hello guys, Andrew Gamucci to you with another Sims 4 video. Now, you guys may have noticed, today I'm starting off in Create a Sim, and I'm going to be saying Create a Sim because you read the title from the video, and today I'm going to be discussing some cool Create a Sim, or CAS, CAS, for the abbreviation, some new the CAS features that they've added throughout the years. Uh, Several improvements that they should have made off the get-go, and a few things I actually really like. So, number one is, uh, well, the major ones that they added firsthand was sexual orientation, which came from the High School Years expansion pack. It is a base game feature, though. You do not need the High School Years expansion pack to have access to this. Uh, but basically, uh, you basically can select your sim if they are attracted to males or females, or if they're interested in female. You can basically make your sim gay or straight or bisexual, which is pretty cool, and I actually like this feature. I don't use it a whole lot, but it's one of the very first base game features that they've added, because this wasn't a base game feature at first, but they did make it pretty cool, and they did make it pretty neat. And you can make it to where the sim is actually exploring romantically, and if you have them to where they're not exploring romantically, then they're going to not be. They're going to want to be single, because if you try to get in a romance with a sim, they will get tense because they're not looking to get married. They're wanting to stay single. It's a pretty cool feature, and I really like it. And some of the other fixes that they have made was, which is pretty funny, and the gender details for the sim. For some weird reason, I don't know what they were thinking when they did this. I mean, it makes sense. So, I guess it's weird, okay? Uh, for example, I think they added this, can the sim produce milk option? I think it came with the Growing Together expansion pack, although it could be completely wrong. Uh, they basically made it to where, if you can, you can basically make it to where you can select if you want your Sims to be able to breastfeed or not. So, if you have it on yes, then they'll be able to breastfeed. If not, then they won't be able to breastfeed. It's pretty funny, especially when you do it on male Sims, but it makes more sense when you do it on female Sims. It just doesn't make sense if you put it on male Sims, to be honest. It's just weird. Now also, with Growing Together, they also made it to where you can select likes and dislikes depending on your sim's traits, but you can select whatever you want, so you can have your sim like or dislike certain things. What I've noticed, though, is that specifically the color likes and dislikes, they don't really have an impact on gameplay, which is really, really weird. So if you have a sim that hates green, but if you have a house full of green, they don't get mad. And vice versa, if you have a house full of green and if they like green, then they don't have a positive impact on them either. So it's a little strange. Like, I don't think the colors have any impact on gameplay. The only impact I see it on is child sims, which is a little strange. Like, I don't see it on older sims. Because children, they get like this special interaction with older sims where you can discuss favorite color or worst color, and it will show up sometimes as a little pop up, depending on the colors that you like for that child sim. So if they like white, then a white color might appear. But if they hate yellow, and if they discuss the worst color, then it might show up with yellow color. It's really not engaging. It doesn't really provide any gameplay use, in my opinion. It's not that useful. Now, a base game patch that actually came back in 2021, I think. I should have discussed this first, but you could actually change the pronouns of your Sims. Now, I didn't really discuss this because it's been a feature in the game for a long time, and I think it's been in the game for like a good 3 or 4 years. I think they released a patch in 2021 that released this, and basically you can make it to where the game will have pronouns that you customize. So, for example, you can have a male sim but have female pronouns. So you can have like she or her, uh, and yeah, it's pretty funny. Or you can have a female sim with male pronouns and be like he or him, which is a little strange, and it makes for fun little storytelling. I really like this feature. I play with it almost all the time because, well, I just make sure that my pronouns are correct. You can even do custom pronouns if you really want. So, like, you can do males or monsters, or it's really cool. It's really engaging, and I really like this because it allows for some fun, goofy storytelling. Excuse me. So I really like this. Now, a patch that came very early on in the game, like pretty much at the beginning of the lifestyle, or the lifespan of the game, was the fact that there were two missing age states, and I should have mentioned this from the very beginning. So originally, there were only 5 life states, or 5 ages for regular Sims. So basically, toddler, the toddler age and the infant age did not exist. So if you had a baby, which was called baby back in the day, which now is called newborn, if you had a baby back in the day, and when it was time for the age up, they would literally age up into a child, as toddlers nor infants did not exist back in the day. So that was literally so strange. Like, having a baby immediately age up into a child just doesn't make any sense. Like, why the extreme age up, huh? Like, what's the big idea? Like, that's strange, but I'm glad it's fixed. So when they now age up to a newborn, or when a newborn ages up, they now age up into an infant, which is the second youngest age, which is pretty much the equivalent to a puppy or a kitten or a foal for horses, dogs, and cats, which is pretty cool and pretty neat. Although infants are bugged right now, which kind of sucks, and it's kind of sad. But that's another topic for another video. Now, here's something else that I want to talk about, and this is another feature that they added, and it wasn't a base game feature like with all the other things on this video on this topic, was different walk styles. So when The Sims 4 first released, this was not an option, and they really haven't touched upon it ever since they released it, because they didn't really add any new ones. The only ones they added from the base development from these was the creepy walk style, which is from the Vampires game pack, which I think is very silly, and it looks really goofy when you try and put it on regular Sims. So it's really, really strange. But yeah, this was the default walk style right here, which was always chosen, and you couldn't customize it back in the day, which is pretty cool. I'm glad they added this feature because it's really nice. I wish they would just touch upon it a little bit more, though, because the way that they haven't really added any more is kind of sad, because it does seem like a cool, nice feature. I just wish they would add more, you know? Now, time for my personal 2 favorites, and probably the most 2 recent changes. Actually, no, there's one more. There's one other one that I did not mention. So, if you go to create a sim and try to change clothing, with the Lovestruck expansion pack patch, which I don't even have Lovestruck, it was just the patch. It was added to all players or simmers, to where if you select a clothing item and create a sim, and if you want to copy that on certain attires, you couldn't do that before, but now you can. So you can copy clothes. So say that I want, I don't know, this t-shirt for, I don't know, athletic or party wear. Well, you can do that now. So simply go right here to the three dots, and you can push everyday, athletic, and party. And you just select the check mark. Now that shirt will be on athletic and party wear, as well as everyday, which is what I selected it for, which is pretty cool and pretty neat. And now something else that they did most recently also is, well, they also added a new category for certain things. Like if you go to hats, and if you go down here to the bottom, you will now have head decorations. This was a addition to the base game for all simmers with the Enchanted by Nature expansion pack patch, to where you can have like cool little headpieces on your sim. And what I didn't like about these at first was the fact that you couldn't copy them, which was a little strange. So you had to go to each and every uh, uh, clothing piece, all the way from everyday to cold weather. You would have to individually select which piece you would want to wear. And that was very time consuming, but I'm glad they fixed it now to where you can actually copy it, so I'm very glad for that. That was really stupid for me. Very, very strange. I don't know why they didn't add it at first, but I'm glad they did that. But it was kind of annoying how it was broken at first. But that's just the thing with Sims 4. The Sims 4 is always broken in some malicious way, I guess. Now that's out of the way, it's time for my two personal favorites. Now, of course, there's probably many, 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 many more CAS editions that I'm not going over in today's video. I might make a part 2, but I don't want to keep you guys waiting, so I'm going to go ahead and go over the two most important ones, and personally my two favorite additions to CAS, or Create a Sim, in The Sims 4. So, before, if you have occult packs, like vampires, werewolves, Realm of Magic for spellcasters, or even Enchanted by Nature for fairies, which that wasn't the case because we had it back when fairies released. But back in the day, you would not be able to have your sim customized and be like, I think this guy would fit being a vampire. Well, sucks to be you because, well, you couldn't select that now. But now you can actually select what occult your sim want. You can actually select what you want your sim to be. So, right here, right above the traits, you will see this little icon. And this is how you select what occult type you want your sim to be, which is pretty cool and pretty neat. And I really, really love this feature. So say that you're customizing your sim, right? And you think that your sim would fit being a vampire, or even a fairy, or even a werewolf. Well, now you can actually select that type now, which is pretty cool. Because you wouldn't be able to do that back in the day. You would have to go right here and add an occult sim, which you can still do, and have to start it from scratch. But now you can actually select it and actually choose what occult type you want your sim to be. Now, something else that the same patch added, which was the Life and Death patch, which was ironically one of the patches that I actually despise right now because it's a patch that caused a huge bug. I've discussed it quite a few times on my last videos. You can go ahead and check those out if you want to go see what that is all about. But it is one of my favorite packs. I wish I had it. It's one of the most underrated packs in my honest opinion. I just wish I had it. But the other main feature, is now you can select what ghost type you want your sim to be. So now, depending on the packs that you have, you can turn your sim into a ghost type, which is kind of crazy and kind of berserk. So this is good for role-playing and good for storytelling. So you can have like a elder sim that died in a fire, or you can have a teenage sim that died by anger, or a teenage sim that died by a killer rabbit. It's pretty funny. You can do a lot of role-playing here. Keep in mind that some occult types, like vampires, I'm just going to showcase here, that not all death types will be available to you. So for vampires, as you can see, there's a lot that is gone here. So, but they do have the death by sunlight added to them because, well, obviously they can die by sunlight. But as you can see, vampires only have a list of 11 potential deaths that can happen to them, which is pretty crazy considering how, if I remove his vampiracy, you get a lot more, which is insane. Now, something else that I want to make a real quick point across here is you can use the applying ghost thing to elder pets as well. So, for example, if I go ahead and add a dog, for example, and if I turn the dog into an elder, you will get the option to turn them into a ghost that died for old age, because dogs, pets, like cats, dogs, and horses can only die from old age in The Sims 4. So, yeah. So only elders are in danger of turning into a ghost. That only applies to dogs, though, which is pretty cool, pretty neat, and you can do a lot of role playing with this as well. So I think it's really cool. All of these neat CAS creative sim features are pretty neat in my opinion, but nothing compares to the last two, and they're my favorites because there's a lot of storytelling you can do. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it wasn't too much of a drag. I wanted to explain all of these cool CAS additions throughout the years and give my opinions and thoughts about them. I hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys next one. Peace out.